Hello YouTube, this is Problematic Boy coming at you with a Torchlight Infinite video. The video that I said was going to be Moonstrike Rahan, but I figured with the full purpose of this video, I needed to make this build take it up a notch. Okay, so we took it up a notch. We're on Gemma with Moonstrike. Oh, excuse me. I'm definitely not drinking beer, and it's definitely not Valentine's Day when I'm recording this. It's just canned water. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is this is not just gonna be any video. This is gonna be a completely serious. I'm not just because I'm laughing and just because I'm using sarcasm and irony does not mean that I'm joking. Okay, just because this is completely serious. This is my Torchlight Infinite Season 3 official sanctioned, legitimate, real Season 3 Torchlight Infinite Max Roll guide. So I figured I would make a Season 3 guide because most of the guides on Max Roll say Season 2 on them, but they're really from Season 1. Most, if not all of them. So I think I can make a Season 3 one right now and get ahead of the curve, which I think they would really appreciate. So here's my Season 3 guide. It's going to be very real and very serious. Let me do a demonstration. I know I usually say that I don't make guides. I make demonstrations and that use it at your own risk and all that thing. But since this is for this is real. This is a real and official. I'm going to do it. You know, uh, I'm going to say that this is a guide. Okay, so first off, is Moonstrike Gemma. We're stacking into. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself. We're stacking into mana, and it's definitely an original build by me. I didn't take this build from Billy, which is Chinese YouTube. I didn't see anything in the Discord. This is a completely original idea by me, and it's my build. And I'm really happy to be showing it off to you guys. Now, as you can see, the damage right now on my top end is about 300 million, and I average out at around 200 million. Just because it's Gemma, I mean, she kind of like blasts like before you like capping dummy. I'm not capping dummy yet, but there's a lot of upgrades we can do for the build. So the build's not finished yet, but we're just running through. Got 6.3 KES. I could T8 if I wanted to. I haven't actually done a T8 on this character yet because I just been going for XP and I don't want to like mess up because I don't have a lot of T8 experience, but I think at 200 million DPS you're probably fine. I also would say build fairly inexpensive at this point. I haven't done too much ominous-ing. In fact, I don't have any gear ominous right now. Ooh, we got a boss. It's like a Valentine's Day gift from the developers, from the game itself. Can you guys imagine that? And then we also got compasses. That's amazing. I'm really glad that I could show off these amazing compasses in my video. So we're gonna grab them all. Oh, we gotta kill this guy. Okay. And why not do the League mechanic? I started doing it. I wanted to go just for XP, but I just really blast XP. But we'll do a League mechanic, and then I'll start going over my gear. And I did make some variations. Now, as much as this is copied from a Billy video, big shout outs to China. Big shout outs to them. I did make some adjustments to it, so it's not like a complete copy. My weapon choices is different, and I think my supports are a little bit different, but they're mostly the same. So let's take a look at what is going on here with the gear. So we're stacking Int and we're stacking mana. The version of the build that I saw was not really stacking Int too much. They had about 600. We're going a little bit harder. We got about 400. And we're also stacking some focus. So I like to get more focus. We can get up to 10 with corrodes, I think. and a better belt, we can get 11. If the corrode is great on the belt, we can get up to 12, which is really sick but expensive. Let's start off with the big thing. This helmet makes the build feel good since we're reserving all of our life, and this is currently the most expensive item in the build. Is the legendary soldier spectacles. I bought a corroded one for 90. You can probably get one around there. But yeah, this is what makes the build feel good because you get so much attack speed from it. Next, onto the chest. I am using this chest because it gives me more mana and it gives me some Fizz convert to LE and it gives me more intelligence. You can, however, use a True Sight armor, which will give you more energy shield. So, True Sight armor for more energy shield, crafted chest for more mana, and more int. So I like having this because I can get Cold Explode on it eventually. So that's what I'm doing. And below, hold on, let me move my camera while I'm going over the gear. Let me move this camera over so you can see the 10% int and the 43. Because I don't, on a lot of gear, on weapons definitely you want T1 or close. Or you want T1 honestly on weapons, but. The 43 versus 60, I'm just not a big fan. I think T2 is usually fine for those. Fervor gloves, yeah, this is probably the second most expensive thing in the build, is rolling fervor. Now I got it fairly quickly. I think I got it in about when you're supposed to get it, so around 200 embers. I got it, so I got it pretty much on par for me. But you can obviously get unlucky. So this, and you need cold convert on the T1 on the prefix, and then whatever res you need, and then this mana might even be a failure. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I have a really crappy False God skin. It's giving me 1% damage per 23. That's pretty decent. And then int per level, and then 9% all stats. That's basically the only value I'm getting from it. Here I have a very good belt that I bought for 12 FE. You want Mind Focus, which changes the effective focus blessing to add cold damage to 2% of your max mana. Just to put it into perspective, I have 8 stacks right now. My max mana is 4904. 1% of that is 49. 2% of that is 98. So we are getting 98 added cold damage to attacks per focus blessing. That is pretty sick when you have 8 focus blessing. That's a lot of added cold damage to your attacks. So that's really good. We also have max mana on it. Fervor effect. Warcry immediately. I'd say the two most, and elemental damage, of course, we're making use of all the mods here. So I got it for 12 FE. You can get something like this. The most important thing is the Warcry cast immediately, so that you can cast your Warcry while mapping. It's just easier to do. It's safer and all that stuff, and of course the Mind Focus, and then the other mods you can just get what you want. I'm using a Corroded Willowfites. Now it's very important. I got these for 2 FE. It's very important that you get this corrode, or else you're not going to be able to regain at all. See, it's 100% additional energy shield regain interval when there are no enemies nearby. What this means is that as long as you're nearby enemies, your regain is normal. But if enemies aren't nearby, then your regain has twice the length in between the regains. Twice the length in between the regains, even though it's more than twice when I move my hands by, and you're not going to be able to recover your energy shield. It really sucks. So, as long as you're nearby, which you always are with this corrode, it's fine. But the regular version of these boots don't have that. It's just 100% additional regain interval, and you can't, and you're screwed because you can't recover. So it's not good. Obviously, ideally, you would get a double corrode here with the added. I think it goes up to 2 to 4. Or something, I think, and then you would get this, that, and we're getting percent intelligence. I think these boots are fine. They're giving me a lot of damage. They're giving me a ton of damage, so it's fine. 2 chaotic endings. I am currently using 9% chance for crit strikes to grant 1 stack and max blessing stack on both. Now, I would like to say that I'm only doing this so that my focus generation is consistent. I'll go over the why and the talents. So having the 18% chance on crit to get a focus blessing is what's making my focus generation consistent. Otherwise, during boss fights, it's not really consistent enough. And then we have this mod here, 9% spell damage per stack of focus blessing owned. I'm pretty sure this works for the damage because spell damage increases in additional bonuses to spell damage applied to Moonstrike. So you want to look into this as well if you don't care about this, but you probably should try to get the focus generation. Okay, so that's the gear. Let's talk about the weapons. Now, the important thing to talk about the weapons. In the Billy video, they are using daggers, and they're not really in-stacking that much. They're going for full, like, mana stack. You can get more mana on daggers, and I think my version is a little bit better. It's more damage-oriented, and you get a little bit more defense from it because you're getting int, right? Int gives you mana, gives you energy shield, and it gives damage. I think it's a good thing to have here. If you're using daggers, you'll end up with more mana, which means you'll end up with more added fizz, which is converted to cold anyway. But I'll talk a little bit how Moonstrike works in a second. So these swords are not ominous or restless yet. They're enchanted. So I have some elemental damage, T2. This is the most important one to get T1 on, is the stat stack mod. You want... I don't think even damage penetrates 2 is that good, but we're gonna ominous something on. I think damage penetration is probably the best thing to ominous on. Intelligence, which should be T1, but it's not. Gear attack speed and T1 attack crit. Here I have a filler mod here, it's just added fizz. Don't put on gear physical. I don't think you should put on gear physical for your filler. Just put anything on, I think. I think that's right. Most important mod here. T1 int, attack speed, and crit. Now, when it comes to attack speed, you don't get really that much more for T1. It's whatever. Attack crit, you probably should go T1 on. I think 40% is just really high. Even though I don't have it here. I have it here. And I don't even have T2 attack speed here. I might recraft this one. I'm thinking of recrafting this sword and then going for this. Also, benefit of using a sword. If you like Leap Slam, you can Leap Slam. I prefer Leap Slam, so that's basically why I made swords. And I also think that the int stacking is a better option. So that's the gear. Let's talk about skills a little bit. Before we talk about skills, actually, I'll go over skills and then talents. Okay, I usually do skills last, but let's do talents or skills now. So this is the setup that I found is doing the most damage for me. Right now, like I said, the damage is about 200 mil, and then it goes up to 300 sometimes when your Frostfire Rampage and all your cooldowns are used. So using Moonstrike, let's talk about Moonstrike. It has a base mana cost of 2% of your max mana. And unlike other Steep Strike skills, so spell damage bonus and additional bonus also apply to the skill's attack damage, and it adds 100% of the skill mana cost as physical damage to the skill. We can convert that to cold. It gets additional attack speed, additional mana cost, and Steep Strike in the Steep Strike form. So basically what happens is you enter a Steep Strike form every 6 slashes. It's not a chance like with other skills where you have a chance to do a Steep Strike. You get a Steep Strike attempt, enter a special state for Tuesday every 6 times the skill's sweep slash hits the enemy. It has to hit too. So, and you can extend the duration to 5 seconds, which you generally do if you keep attacking because you're consuming so much mana. So that's generally how it works. And I guess when you do a Steep Strike, it reduces the required number of hits to enter the state or something. It's very weird. It's not translated very good. So it also averages the sum damage of both the main hand and the offhand, which is why going for stat stacking I think is just fine because it's adding it to all the damage anyway. Running slash duet really good here because when you're in the Steep Strike form, you're always slashing with the steep slash or the steep strike. So you get 5 seconds of getting a 54% chance to do a double slash and 200% additional attack speed as well. So that's good. And this doesn't really matter. Raging slash because you want to really load your damage into that Steep Strike form. Steamroll because the build really needs area. Cold Pen, I'm just liking the damage I get from Cold Pen, and crit strike rating increase, so that we're getting consistent crits, and it just feels a lot better. Next we're going Bull's Rage. This keeps us at 1 HP, but doesn't kill us, which is good. Leap attack right now. Ooh, I'm at 15. Oh, bam, dude. We get Periodic Burst. Harden, quick mobility, Periodic Burst, pretty normal. Fearless Warcry. It's an instant Warcry, so I don't even recommend using this if it's not instant, you might be better off putting something else here. I don't know what though, but something useful. Maybe Soul Eating Circle. We have Bloodthirst. And then here's our aura setup. This is the aura setup if you do not have a precise seal conversion. If you have a precise seal conversion, you can set up things a little differently, I think, with another aura stacked onto your life. But right now, I don't have precise seal conversion, so we're running Fearless, which could be precise as well. Get precise if you need it, if you can. Precise LA Res is okay. It's, better than the regular. Precise Frigid Domain, very good. Precise Energy Shield, very good. Or Energy Fortress, and Stand is one to get all that aura effect. We're not even using Restrain. Cast on Crit, this is very important. I have a precise magical source here. It's important that you get precise magical source because you want as much mana regen speed as possible. We're going to fixate Mana Boil and Force Start on our Cast on Crit. I'm whatever on the Force Start on the Cast on Crit. I don't know how good it is, but it's whatever. And then we have Curse on Hit, Elemental Destruction. This is key. You must be using Elemental Destruction in some way in this build. Hold on. Alert, gamers. You must use Elemental Destruction in some way on this build. Elemental Destruction is the only way you're generating fusion energy. Wee woo. It's the only way to generate fusion. You're generating fusion energy, and it's the only way you're going into Frostfire Rampage is through this skill. It's enough on just a regular Curse on Hit. Get a precise Curse on Hit. So I have one. I'm just lazy, and I haven't brought it in from another character. But I have a precise Curse on Hit. I'm just not using it right now. That's because Elemental Destruction counts as a area or a cold, fire, and lightning skill. My camera's hiding the fact that it is a fire skill. So this is generating all the fusion energy that you could want. And then we have a Thunder Spirit for attack speed. You could also go Fire Spirit. And we need to have a Frost Spirit in order to keep up with the mana that we're spending, because it restores max mana per second. Alright, those are the skills. This is going to be a long video. Strap yourselves in, because we're going into the talents. These talents are the talents. Do not go any other talents. Do not do it. Do not do it, because I tried a lot of different things, and then I saw this in the Billy video. This is the perfect way to set up your talents. Is Goddess of Knowledge, Magister, Soulbender. There's a little bit of variation you could do within the talents, but these are the 3 ones that you go. Okay. So first off, Goddess of Knowledge. Majors. You want Beacon for additional spell damage, which applies to the Thane, your damage, and additional skill cost, which is also increasing that skill cost is increasing the added fizz. So you want that. Since we're Gemma, we want Burning Touch because that's 40% additional damage. Now, if you're struggling with the mana generation, and you can go this and then swap your reigns from chance on crit for focus to spell damage per focus. Ideally you would want both, but you want to stack with that because this gives you a lot of mana generation, but and focus generation, but otherwise this is way more damage to go Burning Touch. And since this isn't an additional or bonus, I don't think Insight works. I've tried Insight since I'm stacking Int. It doesn't seem to actually give me more damage. So Burning Touch, most damage here. I'll do Slow Pan. Actually, let's put my camera up here. Okay. Camera here, do Slow Pan. Get mana. Getting a little bit of crit. I'll fill this out. Probably. Cold Conversion here. This is where we're getting 50% of our Cold Conversion. The first half. Int. Then we're getting a Focus Blessing. Start with getting the Sealed Mana, though. Get this first. Then fill in this later. The additional Focus Blessing later. You want the seal first. Then we're Magister. You want to go Bunch. This is additional spell damage per stack of Focus Blessing. This does give you more damage. It's excellent. And since we're a pure Energy Shield build, first off, I gotta say something. I saw in the Discord people were saying play safe is good. Play safe does not do anything. You can test this yourself. If you go on a dummy, at least for me, I put on play safe. The wording is additional main skill spell damage. So your main skill, I think, needs to be a spell. I tried it with Strike. It doesn't seem to do anything. But even if it did do something, let's say we live in a world where you test it and it is giving you 40% more damage to have play safe on, you would still want Barrier of Radiance in order to survive. Because Barrier of Radiance is great for survival. We have that cast on crit force start. Force start turns into a great defensive ability when we have this. So you want Barrier of Radiance. Anyway, even if you were losing out 40% damage, which there's no way, because you would notice 40% damage. I think I would. I hope I would notice 40% damage, but it's not doing it. Okay, mana regen speed. Energy shield regain, so that we get some regain, and reduce interval, so that's good. Radius, because we're really lacking in radius, unfortunately. Crit damage. Mana and mana seal here. Very good. And then down here we get a ton of energy shield, max energy shield per intelligence, energy shield from chest armor, intelligence, and intelligence per level. And then down here, aura effect and aura radius. Good amount of aura effect there. And then this no defense and defense and LE res. So then we go down the Soulbender. This has become easily one of my favorite talent trees playing with this build. Mana. Max. I'll go over the major talents later. I'm just going to go over these. Max energy shield, attack and cast speed, crit. 6% mana seal here, minus 4% mana seal here. Max mana here. Once again, I don't think this 40 spell damage at low mana works. 45%. This basically gives us a lot of mana regen speed and gives us blur, which is nice. Minus sealed mana. Aura effect, 12%. Big. Passive skill level, big. And then energy shield and erosion res. Here, adds 15% of sealed mana as energy shield. We're stacking a lot of mana. We have int. So when we're getting mana on other parts of our gear, right? So when we seal all that big chunk of mana with percentage seals, we're getting 15% of that as energy shield. It gives us a ton of energy shield. You might think stealth stab, but we actually, I calculated it to that. We're getting so much energy shield from the ward that the 20% DR is worse. And this is only it's inconsistent damage, right? It's not always up. The uptime's not always there. And then you want to go Blood Sacrifice. Adds 20% of sealed life as mana and 15% additional sealed mana. So you get even more room to seal your mana, and we're sealing all of our life, so we're gaining mana and energy shield from that, which is both the things that we want. All right, like I said, the build is not finished. We need to ominous things. We need to get explosion here, Ellie pen here, Ellie pen here, Ellie pen here. Maybe double damage on one of these freaking swords instead of int. You know, drop a little bit of int and get something a little bit more valuable. I think we can do that. We can get corrodes on the chaotic endings for more focus stacks. We can get a better infinity. We can get a better false gods, or even a better amulet. There's probably a better amulet out there somewhere. Explosions. All these other things that we can get. And then I will talk a little bit about memories. It's a 23-minute video. Jesus, I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. We have this mod, which is good, because we're stacking energy shield +1 max fusion energy for every 1793 energy shield up to 10. This is just the cheapest one I could find. It was for 5 FE. This is currently 5 FE for, 34 and then 51. Right now we're getting 3 fusion energy from this. So 5 FE for 3 max fusion energy. That's a great deal. And then our memories are terrible right now. You might be wondering, what's he walking around with? I'm not walking around with anything. Cold res, attack and cast speed, movement speed. I don't even need movement speed. Crit and attack and cast speed. Obviously, the best thing to go for is fusion energy. Get fusion energy if you can, when you can, with whatever you can get it with. Obviously, the top end of this build is going to have 3 +2 ones, I'm pretty sure. And that'll put you at +6 and +3 potentially. You can stack your energy shield up to +4, especially with levels. So you're getting 4 here and 6 here for 10 more fusion energy, which is great. As for the traits, you want to go to max fusion energy and fusion energy effect. This is great. This just, since we're using elemental destruction, it's a fire and a cold skill, so, and it's triggered, so it's fine that it works with this. So we're getting that additional cold and fire damage. Here you want max fusion energy, and then fusion energy additional effect for that big damage. And then here you want fusion energy is no longer removed at the end of Rampage, because that's just huge quality of life. So yeah, that's my introduction. There's not really I haven't seen an English guide on this. Then again, I didn't check before this video, but this has been a very real guide. Okay, this is a guide that I am recommending, and it's for season 3 of Torchlight. Okay, it's for season 3 of Torchlight. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just putting quotations over everything. Um, and it's my official. I don't know what I said at the beginning. It's for Maxwell or something. Just just playing around. But yeah, I'm hoping that they can get this on for season 3 ahead of time. Uh, so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been Problematic Boys. See ya.